3, 2, 1.
All right. What's going on, YouTube? Steven here, back with the Casual Smarts Wrestling Podcast, and I'm here with my big brother, Matt. We're going to be reviewing the full show of WWE Roadblock. Matthew, what did you think about this show, and what would you give it a rating?
First things first, we tried doing this like 10 minutes ago, and we had a little bit of technical difficulty, so for anyone watching then and, stream just cut out of nowhere, we apologize for that. We're going to kind of start over and reiterate some things. Fastlane, or not, did you say Fastlane, Steven?
No, it's Roadblock.
I think you meant Roadblock. I think I heard you say I don't know. But Roadblock, I thought it was a good show. Very solid show. It was what I expected, or it actually exceeded my expectations. I think the fact that we went into this show with very low expectations made it a better show. And I got everything I wanted out of it. I got a good New Day segment to start off the show, a good Y2J promo in the middle. Sami Zayn came out, which I know a lot of people are kind of burying that match because it went too long and so forth. I thought I liked it. I mean, we knew it was a house show, and we you know what I mean? And they last minute decided to change it into a special event on the network, but it was, for lack of a better term, a glorified house show. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, they didn't raise the bar for this show unnecessarily. So, I enjoyed it a lot. What about you? Your mic's off.
What was your rating for it out of 10?
Same as earlier. It's still an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I'm going to go with 8.5. Really good wrestling on the show, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, it was really good. The work rate in that on that show was excellent. Start off with a really hot tag team match. I really got the crowd going. I thought it was great. New Day went over as they should.
But we were supposed to start from the top.
We are. I'm just giving. We're gonna.
I was gonna say, yeah, it was really good wrestling. There was only like one botch tonight. It was Kofi, but that match was great.
Anyway. Oh no, it was a great match. And poor Kofi, man. I hope he's okay. He looks pretty hurt. We might see Biggie and Xavier defend at WrestleMania. Who would think that? But anyways, let's. We're gonna start off with probably what's on most people's minds. Not the beginning of the show. We're gonna start at the end, and then we'll work our way back to the beginning, and then up to the co-main event. But we start. We ended off the show with a WWE World Heavyweight Championship match between Dean Ambrose and Triple H, and I thought it was a good match. Start off really slow, and Triple H was obviously he was rusty, and he was just his cadence was off. For someone who looks at the technical aspects of wrestling, you could tell that Ambrose was just like half a step ahead. But you got to give the guy some props. I mean, he's 46 years old. He is ripped. Did you see him?
Yeah, he is in
such good shape.
Really good shape.
He is in such good shape.
Top of the company. He can.
I was gonna say he's the top of the company. I don't think the wellness policy necessarily
applies to him. Yeah,
who knows? So, I'm not saying anything. I'm not
this match, which happened earlier. Got in my notes here. CM Punk chants happened at that boring, slow start of the show.
The start and the end.
Match. Yeah.
Yeah, no, they were the New Day match too, I believe. And here's the thing: I love me some Phillip Brooks. He's my favorite wrestler. I mean, pretty much of at least the last 10 years. I mean, we were there for the pipe bomb. We were there for the pipe bomb promo. That was awesome. I don't see how chanting CM Punk, especially in the main event, is relevant to, you know what I mean? Okay, I get it if Vince is out there and you're trying to say, hey, fuck you, Vince, for, making the product as unbearable to watch as it is. I can understand you chanting CM Punk in that situation, but you have Triple H and Dean Ambrose out there. Triple H is doing all these great things with NXT. Dean Ambrose is doing, he's great. I mean, there's some things like he has this horrible rebound clothesline that I cannot stand. He has one of the slowest suicide dives in the company. His punches are weaker than Shane O'Mac's, but I mean, those aren't the guys you chant CM Punk at. And as much I would love to see Phillip Brooks back in the WWE in someday. I doubt it will happen, but I mean, never say never in the WWE. But yeah, I don't know, man. I didn't like it there. I liked that the crowd started booing him. That was pretty good.
Yeah, other fans started to boo those chants. I mean, the problem is this was like a good match, and usually when they chant CM Punk, for one, it shows how much of a star he is. For two, it's like to show that you don't care about what's going on.
Yeah, but
But people
I
cared
cared
about what
about
was
what was going
going on. It
on.
was a main event, and it was a good match. I didn't really get the chance in this
No.
case.
Yeah, no, me neither. But moving forward, we're going to talk. I mean, the most controversial aspect of this match, I see a lot of people upset about, was kind of a dusty, for, pardon the pun, no, but a dusty finish midway through the
Yeah,
match. You had Dean Ambrose hit the dirty deeds on Triple H, and what looked like to be a 3 count, and it was a 3 count. For all purposes, it was a 3 count.
I
I don't
gotta
know if the
backtrack you a little bit.
well, okay, we'll backtrack because I kind of wanted to talk about the work rate in the match too, but I was going to say, but it should have been a 3 count. It was 1, 2, 3, and then all of a sudden the ref was like, "No, it wasn't a three. His feet were underneath the ropes." Now I don't know about you, Steven, but at least with the camera angle, it did not look like Dean Ambrose's feet were underneath the ropes. It looks like they messed up that spot.
Yeah, did they show a replay for that?
They did no, they did not.
I mean,
At least
yeah,
from what I could see.
it was a bad camera angle for sure.
Yeah, it was a bad camera angle, and I think they kind of messed up the execution as well. I mean, maybe that's Triple H being rusty. I don't know, but it was weird, and the crowd went crazy when they thought Ambrose won. I mean, that's what I wanted to happen. I didn't think it would happen, and I wasn't surprised when it didn't happen. But I mean, yeah, man, I don't know. I guess. Well, go ahead and what's your opinion, and then I'll move on from
Yeah,
what I was.
so Ambrose was working on the legs the whole match, and he ended up getting at a figure
Great.
four and then a sharpshooter, and then
That is
somehow.
one thing. Yeah, no, you're right. That was one thing I loved about this match. Is the ring psychology. Dean Ambrose did an excellent job singling out a limb, targeting a limb, attacking that limb. And like Steven said, later in the match, he hit the figure four leg lock. Triple H, it was that a rope break, I think, to get out of that. Or no, he got out, and it was a rope break for the sharpshooter. But I mean, that was good. That's what you like to see. That's what you like to see.
Yeah, so they got outside of the match or outside of the ring somehow. The monitors were taken out of the tables. Triple H was put on the tables. Dean Ambrose jumps off the barricade, goes for an elbow drop.
Barricade!
Barricade! And Triple H rolls off, and he goes through the announce table, and then it's like a 9 count. Ambrose gets into the ring, pedigree by Triple H. 1.
How many times do we have to see Ambrose do that 9 count? It's like every week on Raw now. He's out of the ring 9 seconds, and literally at 9 3/4, he jumps back in the ring. I'm kind of getting tired of seeing that.
Yeah.
And I think it worked in that match, but I think he shouldn't be doing that on Raw every week as well as that match. You know what I mean? Same thing with that rebound clothesline. That'd be fine if he didn't do it every match.
Yeah, and by the way, guys, send in your questions at Casual Smart's Twitter page. We'll be sure to answer those.
Yeah, actually,
as they happen.
Can I have a cheap plug real quick?
Yep.
So I was live tweeting a Roadblock all night tonight on at Casual Smarks Twitter to an astounding 12 followers. No, I'm kidding. But it's at CASUAL SMARKS. It's our name on here as well. And that's what our handle is. We actually were lucky enough to get our handle. And yeah, I mean, it would be cool if you dropped us a follow. Also, if you're enjoying what we've been doing so far, go ahead and drop us a subscription, even though I don't want to seem like I'm I'm begging for subscriptions, but it would be cool. I mean, because we were having fun doing this, and yeah, we love to do it for you guys. We're not asking for any like donations or anything. Just tune in.
Yes, indeed. So are we going to start off on the top now?
No, I mean, I was going to say, where do you think they're going? I mean, so do you think after this match, so the whole Ambrose Triple H thing's obviously done. They're going to move forward with Ambrose, Brock Lesnar, and Triple H and Reigns. Were you surprised Reigns didn't show up at the end?
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't been there for 2 weeks because of his nose injury or whatever, and he didn't show up. So he's going to be on Raw tomorrow for sure. And
you mean Monday?
Yeah,
it seems like I know because it seems like a pay-per-view. I don't blame you.
Like it's a Sunday.
Yeah, no. By the way, speaking of pay-per-views and this event, I think this event far outshined Fastlane.
Oh yeah,
Far
Fastlane
out.
was such a boring show.
It was
Like I
terrible.
hardly tuned into it. It was
Yeah.
such a predictable ending. I mean, this was a predictable show, but it was good quality matches and good
Oh yeah,
ring
definitely.
work and psychology.
So I was gonna say when it comes to the Reigns, yeah, I was surprised he didn't show up either. I thought he would. I'm kind of happy he didn't because how many times has he had to bail on Ambrose? I mean, that's been getting tired and old. So I'm glad they actually didn't do that. I forgot to mention actually the ending of the match. Triple H hit the pedigree for the win. He is the
I
WWE
did mention
champion.
that.
Oh, did you?
He
Okay,
said he
good.
came back into the ring. Pedigree
Okay,
1, 2, 3.
okay, good. Okay, good. I just want to make sure. I mean, obviously people know. Um, but yeah, no, it was a good match. I thought it was what I expected, and I mean, it kind of sucks that Ambrose is probably going to have to eat another pin at WrestleMania. I mean, that's going to be what 3 pay-per-views in a row where he's ate a pin or pay-per-view slash special events. So I mean, that's kind of lame, but it is what it is. Hopefully, he looks really strong in that Lesnar match. That's all I'm asking for. I mean, make that it's no holds bar, correct?
Yes, it
Yeah,
is.
yeah. So I mean, I'd be cool if you know at least he looks strong in that match. But yeah, no, I mean if you guys have anything else, any questions about the main event, go ahead and drop it in the comment or the comment section slash question
On
section
Twitter
or on Twitter. That works
because I
well as
can't
well
figure it
too.
out on the comment section right now. I don't know.
No, that's cool. But anyways, so we're gonna move to the beginning of the show, which I thought started off excellent. You had the New Day face the League of Nations, and which is hopefully the end of their feud. Hopefully the end of their feud. But it was a great match. I mean, Wade Barrett got some offense in again, which was pretty cool.
Yeah. Also, the New Day possibly faces now, or what's the deal with that? I don't.
Um, well, I was going to talk about that after we finish talking about the match, but I'm not sure. Honestly, I don't know what. I mean, maybe Enzo and Cass. That was what I was thinking. And this is kind of skipping forward a little bit, but it's relevant to this match, relevant to the question that you asked. Um, Enzo and Cass lost. So what do they have for them? I mean, they're pretty much. I'm assuming going to move up to the main roster, right? They have to.
Yeah, you'd think so with
Yeah. So I mean,
everything that's gone on.
but
They're
no, the
not
beginning.
scheduled for Takeover Dallas, right? So
I don't think so. I haven't looked at the spoiler card yet. I don't. I kind of, I mean, I know that. I know. Well, spoiler alert. I know that Sami Zayn is going against Shinsuke Nakamura, which should be a great match. Obviously, Sami Zayn's probably gonna eat a pin there. But yeah, no. I mean, I don't think Enzo and Cass are scheduled. I know that the Revival versus Jason and Jason Jordan and Chad Gable, American Alpha, is scheduled. And I was kind of hoping that Enzo and Cass would win tonight, and then that would get changed. So you'd have that huge like heavyweight tag teams of NXT, these 2 main event draws who get the biggest reactions clashing. We didn't get that obviously, but I'm not upset with it. The Revival are good, huh? They're so good.
they're so good, but we got to get back to that first
That's
match.
yeah, no. But the
They,
show started off with a New Day promo, which we got some. We got a Bootios promo, like a ad spot. Which, by the way, they have a shirt now that comes with a Bootios box, which is pretty
it'll
cool.
sell out. Definitely, it's selling out.
Oh,
First
I'm
week,
I'm gonna buy it. I'm telling you right now, I'm gonna
exactly.
I'm gonna purchase that. We got. I think it was Xavier saying, "I'll be a king with no you. If you eat Bootios, I'll be a king with no kingdom, like Wade Barrett." And I tweeted on Twitter, LMAO, shots fired. It's pretty fun. I thought I thought it was a good promo, very funny. I'm assuming that's a New Day face turn, right?
That's what it seems like. But if they go against Enzo and Cass, they're definitely going
I
to be the
know.
heels in
Yeah.
that match.
They were definitely the faces in that match. I mean, they're going
Yeah.
against the League of Nations, who no one likes, and that is a heel stable. And I mean, they had such an epic reaction when they first came out. They are the definition of
Yeah, it
over.
was a, it
They
was
are
a hot
so
crowd
over.
tonight.
It was a very hot crowd. Besides the CM Punk chants, I thought a very great crowd. As a matter of fact, I mean, I was impressed.
Well, one
Um,
thing they chanted in this match was "You can't wrestle at Wade Barrett." I mean, come on, Wade Barrett is an extremely talented wrestler, all-around
yeah,
performer in
you're
sports
right.
and
He
entertainment. I don't
he
know why the crowd would be chanting that.
he can't wrestle because they booked him to wrestle awful. You know what I mean? Like he's a really good worker, and he has the main
Remember
event
this
look.
guy in the Nexus?
I don't know what he did to get himself into the doghouse. Honestly, I mean, it sucks because he has so
Say he's
much
gonna leave.
potential. Huh? I mean, no, I know that
Yeah, it
now,
was
but I
before
mean,
that.
I'm talking about the last 3 or 4 years, ever since the post Nexus. You know what I mean? Kind of sucks.
So next match we got. Oh wait, no, I still have more stuff. Big E got some Suplex City on Wade Barrett.
Oh yeah, that was cool. Biggie is such a great talent. He's such a star, and I mean, I like him. Like, I think the last couple weeks they've made him look pretty strong, and he's very, he just has that charisma, and he has that look that, I mean, I'm sure Vince McMahon likes. I bravo to Biggie. He's really stepped his game up since joining the New Day. Same thing with the rest. Xavier Woods has always been pretty witty. I kind of compare him to Jimmy Hart. He's he never really, when he gets involved, he kind of jobs. He's no physical threat, but he's really good speaker, very good at getting people intrigued to what they're doing, and the whole trombone gimmick and everything's excellent. So I was happy with that. I mean, I think they're doing great.
Yeah, so Kofi was on the top rope and he tried to go for a move, and it just, I don't know what exactly happened. It kind of looked like he hurt himself, and it's just like a botch. Was that supposed to like hurt Wade Barrett or whoever was in the ring? If it was Sheamus?
Oh, it was definitely a botch. I think he was going for like a stomp or something from the top rope, and he just landed awkwardly. He kind of jumped over and tripped over Wade Barrett. Maybe he was trying to jump over Wade Barrett and he just caught him, which is weird because Kofi's usually really good at high flying spots, but he just he missed his mark, and
Yeah.
hopefully he's okay. I mean, if not, that's the good thing about the New Day is you got 3 members, and I mean, worst case scenario, Xavier wrestles in more matches, right? Kofi stands on the sideline. Maybe Kofi learns how to play the trombone.
Yeah, regardless, it was a great match. He had Big E hitting the big ending on Wade Barrett, and they retained the tag team titles.
Definitely. So next up, we have Y2J. He came out and he cut a very good heel promo, in my opinion. Can I just say something? The heel Y2J is so much better than the Ayatollah of rock and roll, baby. Ever. No, like, oh my gosh. I mean, another
Okay, I love Ever.
Oh, I mean, but yeah, I mean, of course there's a cheap pop for his catchphrases and whatnot, but the Chris Jericho, who's narcissistic, egotistic, the best in the world at what he does. I mean, the Chris Jericho, he was getting asshole chants, right? Like, I mean, seriously, I mean that the fact that you can have a legend like him come out there, and same thing, I'm gonna give credit to Ric Flair too, because he's been able to accomplish the same thing. But you have these people who should be universally loved and cheered, and they've somehow been able to turn the crowd on them, which is great. Here's the thing, I wasn't too excited about AJ Y2J 4, but with this program, the way that Jericho's building it, I'm starting to buy into it. I'm starting to really kind of be excited to see where this takes us. Hopefully we hear more of AJ,
Yeah, so basically Chris Jericho comes out, they start cheering him. He says it's too late to cheer for him now, that whole shtick again. And because they were chanting AJ Styles, so he starts talking crap about Canada, even though him himself is Canadian. He said he feels ashamed to be Canadian.
Can I do you have the best line of the night on there?
Yes, I do.
Oh, go ahead.
He said that Canada stinks and that Toronto is the anus.
That was great. I generally laughed out loud for that, and I don't generally laugh out loud for a lot of things. That was pretty funny.
And he also talked about, like, you probably cheered when Jack Swagger beat me for the World Heavyweight Championship in 20 whatever.
Holy crap. Storyline continuity. I can't even pronounce that word. But seriously,
Continuity.
Oh my God. Yeah, continuity. You're right. There you go. That was the word I was looking for. But something that happened like 3 years ago, they mentioned it happened. Even though, I mean, for some reason they can't find that logic with Lana and Summer Rae and Brie Bella. That happened 3 months ago. But if it happened 3 years ago, fair game.
He was still talking crap about Toronto. He said, we the people probably chant made by Toronto. And then Jack Swagger comes out and they have a match.
Yeah, I mean, it was...
We the people is like for Americans. And I mean, usually Jack Swagger gets just a loud, booming, we the people.
I'm I'm going to give Jack Swagger credit. It was a well worked match. I feel bad for him. I feel like he's more talented
Oh yeah, he is
than what they give him. I think him with Subculture was a really good act. I don't know why they ever ended it. I, I enjoyed it. I mean, it was a good match. It was predictable. Obviously, Y2J is going to win, and that was the problem with another match later in the night. It was predictable. But I mean, come on, I'm not going to complain about that when we watch 3-hour Raws, we literally get 3 hours of predictable matches. You know what I mean? Whereas, this we had,
By the way, this was the match they chanted CM Punk in.
Oh, was it? Okay. I thought. Oh yeah, it wasn't the New Day match, was it? You're right. Okay. Well, thank you for clarifying that.
Yeah. So, Jericho got put in the ankle lock by Jack Swagger towards the end of the match, and he grabbed the ref's leg and pulled himself to the ropes, which I thought was great. And eventually, he goes on, hits the walls of Jericho. Jack Swagger taps out.
I have a question. Do you remember what JBL was screaming into the mic?
Oh, dude!
At the end of that match?
Wrote something. I wrote in all caps. JBL yells, "You still got it! You still got it!" 50 times. He needs to go away.
He is the worst thing that's ever happened to commentary in any sport, whether that be WWE, whether that be professional figure skating.
He's worse than Josh Matthews.
Oh God, it was so bad. I mean, I get it. He's the heel announcer, and we're supposed to hate him. I get it, but it's not even good healing. It's just horrible. It's lame. Corey Graves. That's a good heel announcer. That's a guy who does a really good job at invoking those negative emotions, but in the right way. It's kind of the difference between like the heat that Eva Marie gets. I consider that bad heat, and good heat. Heat that you earn, and JBL hasn't earned his heat. He's just bad. He's not a good heel. He's just a bad commentator. Oh my God. You know what I was thinking? Because that was the end of the JBL, or no, not the JBL, but that was the end of the Chris Jericho Jack Swagger match where he was saying, "You still got it. You still got it." I was thinking in my mind a classic Chris Jericho line: "JBL, will you please shut the hell up?" Well, we can move on. I just had to get that off my chest, dude. God, terrible.
Yeah. Next up, I think my match of the night.
How you doing?
Enzo and Cass versus the Revival. Enzo and Cass got a huge pop. Huge.
I love that they were in Canada.
Vince Russo. They got a huge pop, Vince Russo.
God, I even quoted Vince Russo tonight on our Twitter feed once. Huh?
We're gonna get some
nuclear heat. A wink. No, but yeah, we had a really good match between Enzo and Cass and the Revival. Enzo and Cass came out, did their whole shtick,
they dominated
and the crowd was with them. The crowd knew what they were talking about. I went to NXT San Jose a month back, and they wrestled that live event, and they were just as over as they were here. A lot of people watch NXT. I think it kind of shows. I mean, obviously not everybody, but I thought.
Oh, and especially more people are now because that was just a great match, and people that
it was a very good
about NXT.
It was a very good promo for NXT. It really was, and it was a really good way to introduce Enzo and Cass to the main roster because I know they're not officially debuted on the main roster yet, but I mean now people saw kind of what they can do in NXT, and like people who don't normally watch NXT, and hopefully when they get brought out, more people are like, "Oh yeah, I remember these guys. These guys are pretty good," and they were pretty damn good. Got to say something, Enzo and Cass, for that matter, in ring wise, have improved drastically since they debuted a couple years ago. I mean, it was excellent. And then you have the Mechanics, or actually, my bad, the Revival. I like the name Mechanics better. Okay, they're the Mechanics. It's really good mechanical wrestlers. I mean, they're great, and they're able to carry anyone to a great match.
Yeah,
but
I was gonna say their doubles moves, just all of them, are so clean and perfectly executed. It is just so beautiful.
Was there anything off cadence in that entire match? Like, no. It was really smooth. It wasn't.
There was a really clean sequence with Big Cass's hot tag, or he kept using Enzo and everything. Throwing over the ropes and all this. It was just perfectly executed.
it was the polar opposite of that. At least the first half of that Triple H Dean Ambrose match. With that match, everything was really choppy. You know, like it was like, and this match was just smooth sailing, and it was fun to watch. The crowd got into it. You had a couple moments in the match where they were chanting, "This is awesome!" Really good high spots. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and that was my match of the night. And I give that a 4 out of 5 stars and when it comes to the match ratings. It was really good.
Yep. And all right. Next segment, it was a backstage segment with Natalya.
Wait, did you mention that the Mechanics won? The mechanic.
Oh yeah. Well, they hit one of their doubles moves, and it was just.
I don't even know what they call that.
Yeah, I don't know.
They don't really put over their. I don't even think Michael Cole called that move. I don't think Michael Cole even.
I mean,
I know it's their finisher,
but
I
no moves.
Yeah. No. Well, obviously.
It was like a code breaker from the top rope-ish.
If it was Morrow, we would have known what that move was.
It was like a code breaker sort of.
By the way, you know Morrow was sitting front row tonight.
I saw him tweeting.
Yeah. You know, they could have just, hey, for the NXT match, hey, go out there. And,
we got a huge pet peeve to talk about next with this backstage segment with Natalya. Natalya says that Charlotte is too scared to make it a title match, that Brett was right about the Flairs, that they're cowards. And so that made Flair go, no, we're not cowards. And Charlotte's like, I don't even know what she said, but then she's like, you want a title match? You got it. Like,
why is every heel in the WWE so damn stupid? Why haven't they learned? What was the point of that? I mean, just make it a title match. I thought it was being promoted as a title match, didn't you? Wasn't it being promoted as a title match?
Yeah, so did I. I mean, that's what I
liked the promo.
Description.
I liked the promo up until that point because they've done it twice with Charlotte now. Once before, Becky, when they had their match at not Fastlane, but the pay-per-view before the Royal Rumble match, Becky goaded Ric Flair into accepting a match for Charlotte using the same tactics. Like, is she afraid to fight me? This is basically the same thing. Oh, you guys are cowards. And then somehow they're so offended by that they decide to reward that.
Isn't that sort of a face thing to do, to say you're going to put on the title anyway?
It doesn't make any sense. It's dumb. It makes Charlotte look very disingenuous because if she's a smart heel, then she would, by every means, try not to defend her title that night if it wasn't already a title match that was made. And someone calling her stupid logically, if someone was trying to get something out of me and they were like, hey, Matt, you're an asshole, I wouldn't give that to them. I would be like, well, screw you. You called me an asshole. You're not going to get what you want. You should be kissing up to me. You should be on your knees begging for a chance at my title. Where's the psychology?
Yeah, I know. It didn't make any sense. So after that, they had the match. Natalya got a pretty good pop. It's in Canada, Toronto. Charlotte's always, getting the woos. And it was a really good in-ring match. I mean, maybe not really good. It was Natalya's. Oh yeah, it was really good. Match.
Oh my
Charlotte
God.
is Natalya is
sound.
Great. They underutilize her so much, and I don't know why.
Yeah, I mean, she just doesn't fit what they want, or at least when she debuted in an era where they were still pushing, models like Eve Torres and Kelly and Alicia Fox and, Nick the Bellas. Like, she didn't fit the look mold, which, by the way, if you look at her now, she's honestly probably one of the most attractive females on the roster. You see that ring gear?
She's in great shape.
Oh my God. I don't want to get
in that backstage segment. She was looking like really good.
I respect women more. I mean, women's wrestling more than to just talk about looks. But I mean, if we're talking about someone getting buried for their looks, it shouldn't be her, right? Because she's a good-looking woman. I think she is. I think it's because she used to be a little bit more manly. But I mean, I think she's grown into herself. But it was a really good match, and I mean, how it ended with no. Charlotte hit the natural selection. Natalya kicked out of that. And then Charlotte ended up hitting the sharpshooter to thunderous applause, a huge pop. Of course, Natalya?
Natalya hit the sharpshooter.
I said that right?
You said Charlotte.
Oh, Natalya hit the sharpshooter to a thunderous pop. And then obviously it was Charlotte hit the ropes on that, right?
Yeah, they were reversing
And,
the figure four before that too, back
yeah,
and forth, kind
that
of.
was cool.
Yeah. And then Ric Flair like distracts Natalya, and Charlotte gets a roll up.
Roll up 1, 2, 3 using the ropes as leverage.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it was a great match. It was what you were to expect. Obviously, going into it, there was no way in hell that they were going to, have Charlotte drop the title. What, you're gonna have a triple threat with 3 baby faces at WrestleMania, or a fatal 4-way? It wouldn't make sense. They're doing the whole 3/4 of the 4 horsewomen triple threat at WrestleMania, regardless. So, but it was good. I enjoyed. I for what it was, I really enjoyed watching that match.
Agreed. So next up, Bray Wyatt comes down, cuts a promo during his whole theme song, which I thought was just awesome. I don't remember what he said. But
no, I mean it was a generic Bray Wyatt promo. I mean, at the end he was basically like, "Hey, Brock Lesnar's conquered the Undertaker streak. He's conquered who else? He said he's conquered Triple H or something like that, but he's never conquered me."
yeah.
And this match was advertised as Bray Wyatt versus Brock Lesnar. I think somewhere in the mix at the very, very last second.
Last second.
They changed it to a handicap match.
But was it even a handicap match, Bray Wyatt? Did he even
It was. It was
and if he was at the very beginning?
It was considered a handicap match, and you have and basically you had Luke Harper work the majority of that. I mean, the entire match. Bray Wyatt just stood on the outside, which I thought was okay, here's the thing. I didn't like that they, advertised kind of, the singles match between the two, and then ended up doing something different. However, I'm kind of happy they did something different because now this leaves open the Bray Wyatt Luke Harper feud for, or not Luke Harper, the Bray Wyatt Brock Lesnar feud for the future. That could be a SummerSlam feud. That could be a post WrestleMania feud if Brock Lesnar decides to stay. I mean, you kept Wyatt safe. And by the way, let's not undervalue Luke Harper in this match. He did excellent, and he is so underutilized. It sucks that he's kind of going to be relegated to a career-long henchman. Like, whether he's with Wyatt or whether he's with someone else, like, he's always going to be someone's strong man. He's always going to be a bodyguard.
Well, basically, Luke Harper just ate suplexes this whole match and then an F5. So,
he hit a
what are you
talking about? I mean, he's a really good. His style is very physical, and if you talk to anyone who watches, wrestling and have seen him, like, in his younger days, he is an excellent. He's an excellent worker. And they just, I guess they tried breaking him away from the Wyatts at one point, but they had him keep his crappy gimmick with, his Wyatt gimmick, and had it give him a run with the IC title, and it was a pretty crappy run, but that was their fault because they booked him wrong. It just, it's sad because he is a talent, and he's good at cutting promos too.
Yeah, Luke Harper is a really good talent in ring, and he can cut promos.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that match accomplished what it needed to accomplish.
So, yeah, when
by the way,
Brock Lesnar's
Dash. Can I just mention really quick? It's like 2 seconds. Dash from Dash and Dawson, the Revival. He liked my tweet that said, "And still the NXT Tag Team Champions, the Revival." Thought that was pretty cool.
Nice. So Brock Lesnar, his music hits. I mean, we've already gone through the match, but his pop was just thunderous. Just
God,
huge.
yeah.
He is such a big name and star. It's just unbelievable. I wish he was in the main event of WrestleMania.
Brock Lesnar did what he needed to do. He went in there. He hit a couple, suplexes, F5. He ate one clothesline, and I think he also ate a suicide dive. But it was. But I mean, for the most part, it was all offense by Lesnar, and that's what.
Yeah, they also had Heyman announce him before the match too.
Okay, screw it. We'll talk about this right now. Okay, I read something, and I thought this was pretty interesting. So we were just talking about how this leaves open the Wyatt Lesnar feud, which was originally scheduled for WrestleMania. This leaves it open for a future date, right? So I read, do you think it's possible that the Wyatts somehow get involved with the Brock Lesnar Dean Ambrose match at WrestleMania?
I feel like that should be a match for SummerSlam.
It wouldn't be the first time they did something at like WrestleMania or maybe the Raw after WrestleMania, but in that time frame that they set up for a feud at SummerSlam. I mean, they could do that.
The pay-per-view's Extreme Rules, right?
It's either Payback or they've changed it a couple times, so I don't know it off the top of my head.
If it's Extreme Rules, I would definitely not mind seeing a Wyatt Lesnar match.
I feel like there needs to be someone has to. Okay, you know what I would like about the Wyatts getting involved with the match at WrestleMania? It means Dean Ambrose could actually win that match. You know what I mean? If they came out and they beat the living shit out of Lesnar, which in what should be or what is going to be a no holds bar match, so there would be no disqualification. Ambrose, wouldn't have to do anything with it, wouldn't have to have anything to do with it, so he wouldn't, look bad. And then you have him pin Lesnar after Lesnar gets annihilated by the Wyatt
family.
And
if he turns heel later in that night too,
or
that like
you could turn Ambrose heel. Exactly. I think they have to do. Okay, well, this is the co-main event, and we already talked about the main event. So I will say, let's just move on in general, moving forward. So yeah, we already talked about the main event, but once again, just in case you didn't hear it earlier, basically Triple H retained his WWE Championship, and there was a controversial false finish where Ambrose got a 3 count, but I guess his feet were underneath the ropes. Anyways, we already talked about that. We thought it was kind of it was horribly executed. But I want to say moving forward, so obviously. Oh yeah! I almost forgot about that.
Let's go!
I totally skipped over that match.
Oh, that was next anyway.
I know, but I just reiterated the main event. I really didn't need to yet. But no, Sami Zayn came out, got a huge
nowhere.
Yeah, out of nowhere. I thought it was great. A lot of people were knocking this match because it was an obviously predictable outcome. But once again, I've said this like 2 or 3 times. It was a house show that got changed into a live event, which basically just because it's on the network, it's still a house show, and it was a glorified house show with a really high profile main event match. And yeah, I enjoyed it. I was happy to see Sami Zayn. I was happy to see him get that pop in front of his hometown. They kind of got quiet like midway through the match, but just because you really didn't need that match to go that long. I'm not knocking Sami Zayn or Stardust for that. They told them to go out there and have that match for that long. You didn't need to have it for that long, but regardless, it was a good match. And Sami Zayn won with a haluva kick, and that was that. And I'm excited to see where Sami Zayn goes from here. Obviously, something with Kevin Owens, if that could be a multi-man match, you never know. But
which I would rather have for the United States Championship.
So actually, you know what? Let's talk about. So we just talked about that.
And that was Roadblock, by the way.
That was Roadblock. And once again, I thought it was a great show. I thought it surpassed expectations for something that I had very low expectations for. And we both agreed, gave that an 8 out of 10, right? If it was like a WrestleMania or a big pay-per-view, it wouldn't have been that high, but it served its purpose. So I give it an 8 out of 10. But before we wrap up here, I just want to kind of talk about moving forward to WrestleMania. What do you think about the way the card's shaped up?
The card is looking good. It could be better, of course. I guess we just got to see. There's how many weeks till WrestleMania?
I believe 3.
3?
Yep. It's like 22 days from today.
I love the trip. Well, I don't.
Yeah,
love
3 weeks. 3 weeks from tomorrow.
For the Divas title, I wish it was a 1-on-1.
It should be Sasha versus Charlotte 1-on-1. But here's the thing. The card isn't the strongest. I would have loved for Dean Ambrose to win tonight, and if they would have set up that fatal 4-way, it would have been so awesome. Like that's a huge match, and it would have totally shaken everything up. They didn't do it, and I didn't expect them to do it. But I held a little bit of hope, just a little more people in my Twitter poll. When I asked who's going to win this match, I had this is like my highest rated poll too. I had 13 people, which I know it's not a lot. Okay, guys, don't give me shit. But I had 13 people vote in this poll, and more people voted for Ambrose to win that match than Brock Lesnar. I guess people were hoping. I voted for Triple H even though I wanted Ambrose to win because I'm honest. Because it wasn't who do you want to win, it was who do you think is going to win. But yeah, the card is kind of bland to me.
But they do have a lot of injured wrestlers.
Well, of course. My thing, I think they got to do something with this main event. If they just go in the WrestleMania and have Triple H go against Roman Reigns and Roman Reigns goes over, the completely predictable outcome that everyone's been predicting since
last year.
After Seth Rollins got hurt, like the minute Seth Rollins got hurt, this is what everyone was thinking was going to happen. That would be a huge mistake, and I think they would. The next people tune in for the night after WrestleMania, but after that, I think the ratings will go sour because I mean, what's there to watch? Roman Reigns, I mean, I don't think he's bad. But his character has just been so poorly booked that he needs a drastic character change, or they need some extremely hot angle to bolster him up the card. The problem is, I feel like if Ambrose turned heel on him now, I almost feel like Ambrose would get cheered. That's how poorly Roman Reigns has been booked. I take that back. He definitely would be cheered over Roman Reigns.
Well, he's so much more over in Reigns right now.
I mean, because people hate Reigns and people love Ambrose. So even if Ambrose turned into a bad guy, if him being a bad guy meant beating up Roman Reigns, they would love it.
And if Ambrose got his like surgery on his nose, he would be there on Raw or SmackDown like the next taping.
Yeah, so that's the thing.
But they're just trying to give Roman some
time.
They're gonna.
I'm hoping
what?
Well, yeah, I think they were because they knew if they were. I think the plan was to have Ambrose go against Triple H at Roadblock, so Triple H can get a win because Triple H isn't going to defend his title for the first time and lose it. He needed a win, and because that's just Triple H. And I mean, it wasn't like Ambrose looked weak in that match, so I'm not pissed off about it. Actually, Ambrose won that match, but his feet were just underneath the ropes. Yeah, but I mean, I just feel like they're gonna have to do something big at WrestleMania. I mean, obviously there's something wacky is gonna have to happen. The Shane McMahon Undertaker match. I'm excited for that match, but there's gonna have to be some sort of shenanigans. I'm almost thinking something like last year in the Sting Triple H match where they had a bunch of people run out.
Question: what do you think The Rock is gonna do this year? Because if Roman wins, I just think he's gonna go out there and hold Roman's like.
What does The Rock do? Well, if they have him come, I hope that he doesn't do that. Steven.
They keep hyping him up with the video.
They tried doing that at the Royal Rumble a couple years ago and didn't work. And in fact, that just makes us hate him more because it just shows how desperate they are to get Roman over that they have to send out their most over person of character minus Steve Austin of all time. But The Rock, I see him being in the corner of someone, so he might possibly be in the corner of Reigns in the main event if, like, I don't know, maybe Stephanie might be out and Triple H. I don't know. Depends if Ronda Rousey can compete, which I mean that could. I mean, I don't think it's going to happen. But
too late for that because she would go against Stephanie.
Not necessarily. If they could tomorrow, because it would be her against Stephanie.
Yeah.
I have problems with Ronda facing off against Stephanie because I mean that's just so unbelievable, But if maybe Ronda and The Rock were in someone's corner. I don't know. They can't do the mixed tag team match between Triple H and Stephanie and The Rock and Ronda anymore. God, I don't know. Maybe he just hosts.
Yeah, you sure? I mean, he did that already.
Maybe. Oh God. Okay, I haven't heard anyone say this. What if The Rock comes out, right? And he turns heel on Roman Reigns, and they set up a year in advance Roman Reigns versus The Rock at next year's WrestleMania.
Oh, you already know who'd win that match.
Oh, it would definitely be Roman. It would be a horrible idea, but I would have put it past Vince.
I mean, I bet that'd be like a good match.
It would be a good match, but no one wants to see The Rock eat a pin for Roman. That would just be more of the same horrible booking. Roman needs a heel turn. That's all I'm going to say. It's not going to happen. Vince is headstrong and making Roman his Samoan badass underdog. The 6'3", 260-pound guy who has the deck stacked against him. He has to overcome the odds. The person who, at least if I were to look at him, has everything already going for him. Somehow that guy's an underdog. But I don't know. Vince is hell bent on that. Vince is hell bent on making Samoan Jesus into Daniel Bryan, which
6'3", 250-pound Samoan beast.
Yeah, but I mean, honestly, right now it's up in the air what The Rock will do. Maybe something with Rusev, possibly. No, I was just thinking because of that
Rusev's with
promo.
League of Nations doing nothing.
Yeah.
Very.
Maybe. You know what I could see honestly happening, because HBK and Stone Cold have already announced they're going to be there too. They might just do like a Legends like opening segment like they did a couple years ago. What was it, WrestleMania 29 or 30, where they just had like Stone Cold, The Rock, and Hogan come out and cut a promo. They might just do that with HBK. I heard HBK actually might get involved in the main event match. Oh yeah, that was the other thing. That's what I was trying to think of earlier. I read a rumor that maybe HBK is in. I got muted. Oh wait, no, that's you. I read a rumor that HBK might be in Triple H's corner and The Rock might be in Roman's corner. Who cares?
Yeah, Roman's gonna go over anyways.
One thing I will tell you right now, if you're still watching, The Rock isn't wrestling this year. It's just not happening. He has movies going on. They would have advertised it 3 months ago if he was wrestling. They wanted to sell out that state. They would have advertised that he was wrestling the minute those tickets went on sale in November. So he's not wrestling. He might, hit a rock bottom or something, but he's not wrestling.
It's pretty close to being sold out.
Yeah, I mean, 85,000. They're not going to sell out. 85,000 tickets.
Oh, they'll say that they sold it out.
Oh well, yeah.
Sure.
I mean, what was it? Was it 92 when they? That's right now. That was in WWE history books. That was their highest attended event at 93,000. It was actually 79,000, I believe. And I'm sure for this one they'll say it's over 100,000, even though it'll probably be around 90,000. Which you can't. I mean, I don't have any. Whatever, it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, we'll talk more about WrestleMania in future podcast. Do we have any more questions, or should we wrap this up?
Oh, there was this one question from earlier.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it was from the same dude that asked questions like last night, or he like.
Hey, where are we on time?
I don't know, to be honest.
Okay. That's fine.
He asked, will Jeff Hardy ever return to WWE?
I don't. Yeah, probably.
I mean, I'm not a fan of Jeff Hardy, so I don't know.
Well, yeah. It doesn't matter if you're a fan or not. I could
really good. Yeah, really good.
Once because he sells merchandise. You know what I mean? He sells the arm sleeves and stuff. I mean, once TNA finally goes into the grave, it's I would.
We're 46 minutes 50 seconds.
Oh, that's a pretty good time. I think we should
good time
in a minute. But I was going to say, but yeah, no.
Mics.
Just to end this, for one, to answer that question, yeah, I do see him coming back someday. But yeah, thank you for watching. Really enjoy doing this podcast. Thank you for those who tuned in. Thank you for those who are tuning in after the fact. For listening to this. We're going to try to do this on a pretty regular basis. We do live on the West Coast, so our Raw podcast won't be immediately post Raw. It will be actually during the day on Tuesday. We'll release that, and I think that's a good time because I mean you can listen to it. You have plenty of time to listen to that before our. Are we going to how's it going to work? We're going to do a post Raw, probably combine NXT and SmackDown, right?
Yeah,
in one podcast, maybe on a Friday. And then we'll always do a post pay-per-view podcast immediately after the pay-per-view because we'll watch those live. So, yeah.
So make sure you guys follow the Casual Smarts Twitter and also follow Matthew at IggyGQ.
Yes, I might change. Okay, right now it's IggyGQ, so IggyGQ, and then if that doesn't work, it is. I'm going to change it to CS Matt, Casual Smart Matt. Yeah, I mean, just go ahead and give me a follow if you'd like to see my whims on my musings on not only wrestling, politics, other things like that. I'll be posting a lot of content to the Casual Smarts Twitter page. Today I tweeted the entire pay-per-view and that was exhausting. But yeah,
I wrote notes the entire pay-per-view and that was exhausting.
Yeah. So once again, thank you guys for listening. Go ahead and drop a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. And
let us know what you thought about Roadblock.
Yes. Go ahead and comment if you have any questions for the future podcast. Go ahead and comment with your questions. Comment with your opinions.
Comment your rating of the show.
And interact with us. We're happy to interact with you. You can interact with us on Twitter.
I'm always looking to the comments on YouTube, and he's always on Twitter. So either way.
All right, and Sasha Banks for Divas champion at WrestleMania, and
yes, we will see you next time.
Deuces, guys.
Peace.